Ladies and gentlemen, Cheryl Cran. Get her up here, guys. She is a rock star.
The future is about shared leadership. I love what Todd said. The key is about sharing information. One of the biggest challenges that I find organizations are struggling with, in addition to what you outlined in that survey, is information sharing. Downloading what the Zoomers and traditionalists have taken years to learn and putting it in a format where everybody has access to use that information in order to drive business forward. Now, old style thinking, why would I download everything I know so that somebody else can be promoted in 3 or 6 months? Okay? New style future thinking, it's all part of moving the organization forward. I'm not threatened by somebody who might get promoted sooner than I did. Yes, I did 15 years at a time, but that's the way I had to do it to get to where I am. Most Gen Ys and X's now are saying, I'm not going to be here for 15 years, so please guide me, show me, share me the information so that I can be most effective while I'm here. And what does this mean then? It means we need to lead in a different way. We're not leading a stable workforce anymore. We're leading a constantly changing workforce where people and situations are constantly changing, which means we have to build our flexibility factor. It includes creating a culture of we. It includes multiple perspectives and being evolutionary in our leadership approach. If we look at the top 3 challenges that many of you in this room are facing, and I did a survey monkey survey for some of the attendees, and I know some of you responded, and for those that did, thank you. And for those of you that responded, here's what I extrapolated as what you said were some of the things you're facing right now. You said, number 1, recruiting and retaining top talent. Now, by the way, leading change is directly correlated to recruiting and retaining top talent. Because organizations that are creating a brand of attraction for people to work, regardless of generation, have the future of work. Organizations that are looking at what is exciting people for them to work. You also said that one of your challenges is the pace of change. Now, you and I know in this room, and this is where the word change, many of us, our eyes can sort of gloss over and go, oh, I've heard about this. We're living it. We're doing it. But really what we're talking about here is the pace of ongoing disruption. That's the way I would coin it, is the pace of ongoing disruption is causing many of us to be more stressed. It's causing many of us to go, well, wait a second, we were doing this over here. Now we have to pivot and do this over here. What is the solution to that fast pace of change? It's how we reorganize ourselves individually in order to be leaders that inspire others to go with the disruptions that are going to continue. The disruptions are not going away. We know this. We live in a globally volatile reality. We live in a constant threat to security. We live in a constant environment of having to adapt and be agile to people, situations, and processes. The third challenge was motivating teams to integrate technology. Now, we all know technology is a huge component. My question in the survey was, how relevant is technology to what you're doing? And the answer unequivocally was, we have to have across-the-board uptake of the technology. But here's what I've noticed is many organizations will put a new technology in place and ask everybody to adapt to it without giving the proper tools, resources, and abilities for people to really up-level the technology to their highest ability. What this means is we have to upgrade our operating system, just like we do with our technology. As humans, we are rewiring our brains. We are building new synapses here so that we can correlate things, that we can link things together. I'm going to test you on this in just a moment. But if you look at the components of an upgraded leadership operating system, number 1 is vision. And it doesn't matter what your personality style is, everybody has the capability to have vision. And one of the things I notice when I coach leaders is that the thing that is the most, what I would call immobilizing to them, is they've lost sight of the vision. They've lost sight of, why am I here? What are we doing? How is it changing the workplace? How is it changing the world? And we lose sight of the impact that we each individually make. The second is having our map and plan. What is it that we want to create? If we're going to be change leaders, what's our proactive checklist of what we're going to do when change comes upon us? What are we going to do to be ahead of the change? What's our plan? Third thing, multiple perspectives. Psychology has shown that for as humans have evolved, we are at a place now, and Ken Wilber talks about this, that we want to shift from having singular perspective or dual perspective into a more fluid, multiple perspective mindset. Now that's easier said than done, and it takes time and attention to wanting to do this. But for example, most people hold dual perspective at the most. And he calls this tier 1. But if you're really looking at multiple perspective, and I'm saying really able to look at your own awareness of self, your awareness of others from a personalities, from a generational, from a human perspective, and you're able to hold the perspective of your own job and your own department and the organization, and then the industry, and then the impact of that industry on other industries, and then the impact of that on global. That's the skill set we're all building right now. And whether you're aware of it or not, because of technology, our synapses are already doing this. We're already correlating things that are unrelated in order to create our new future.